skin loves the humidity.
Yeah, my hair maybe not so much.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a bad run of races so far. Vegas, Miami.
No, I do well.
Yeah.
She's like, twist my arm.
Lawrence just had to do Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
That's true, yeah. We get the ups and the downs, the full roller coaster of 24 races.
Like, what do you think you're looking forward to the most this weekend?
Maybe seeing Brad Pitt, if I'm being really honest. I mean, I live in Los Angeles, but obviously there's so much hoopla around his film, which I believe is just titled F1, and there's a lot of stunts and promotions, and that might have been me.
That's Brad
That's
Pitt.
all right.
Give me a message.
Brad was like, "Hi."
Interestingly, in the movie, his love interest is similarly aged to me, despite the fact that he is 60. I am not near that, and so maybe I've got a shot.
Hope for everyone. That's
Right.
what it's a movie of hope.
Right. But from a race perspective, I'm interested, obviously, in Max versus Baby Max.
Baby Max. Which one are we referring to as Baby
Oscar.
Max? Okay, just making sure
I
that
like
I'm on
Baby-
the same.
Baby Max is a
Baby
good
Max.
nickname. I like
Yeah, I kind of like that too.
Also crazy that we already have a baby version of Max Verstappen, who I already
Is
have
a
always
baby.
considered a baby.
And is expecting a baby.
Who's still
But,
27 as well, right? Which
Yes.
He's 27, yeah.
it's
But,
mad. Every time you read his age, you're like, how is he still so young?
How is he still so young? How has he done so much? But that's like the wild thing, because I've said this to you guys before. When you look at him and you think about his mindset and you think about some of the things he does, he literally has nothing left to prove. The only thing he has to do now is do the things that he wants to do and enjoys doing, because, well, there's a word that I would say if we weren't on microphone, but you know what I mean? Because he's done everything. Like, he'd accomplished his life's goal before most people are legally able to drink in this country, you know?
And while we're on that, that's what makes him all the stronger, because he has that in the back of his mind. Because he has
Right.
nothing to prove. I think in 2021 there was that urgency that led to certain mistakes against Lewis Hamilton, who was in a similar position. But now he's kind of got everything that he needs. There was even talk, I don't want to put too much credence to this, but talk on another podcast that he might take a sabbatical next year. Because there's all this questions about his future, and then we'll just see what happens to him in 2027. He can take a pick of all the teams he wants because he is that good. And
I don't know.
I feel
if
like
the,
he's in a position where he could do
first
that.
year you have a baby is the year you take a sabbatical.
Well,
you are
that's-
on
yeah.
the road to
Yeah,
miss
yeah,
that
yeah.
year.
But
I
that-
would
Well,
not wanna
wait,
be
hold
home.
on. Let's be honest. Like, the Max Verstappen baby parenting experience is probably not the experience that we, us normal people, have
Sure.
ever experienced. I'm
That's
just
true.
going to throw it out there that they have
But out of
the financial resources to help them along the way.
That's a very good point.
I think out of all the drivers in F1 who you'd look at and say could or couldn't take a sabbatical, though, Max is right up there.
He does make the
Fernando
most
Alonso,
sense.
when he kind of took his retirement, that was kind
Yeah.
of forced on him because he was in a bad situation, really didn't have much motivation, wanted to do some other stuff. Max, you always feel like Max could just get out of the car one day, win a championship, and say, I'm happy to just throw the towel in now and say I'm done. And I quite like that about him. I like the fact
So do
that
I.
he's not obsessed about, he doesn't want to be doing it when he's Alonso's age. But yeah, I mean, it's one to watch. We don't know, the Verstappen kind of storyline is one of the fascinating things right now.
And you can guarantee if he did take a sabbatical, he would go racing during that
Yeah.
sabbatical. It would just
Right,
be
because
in a
he's
different
talked
form
about
of racing.
he's
Le
wanted
Mans,
to
for
do
example.
like things like the 24 hours of Daytona, Le Mans, those sort of things. Like, he would do other things. It's just that he doesn't maybe want to do this. As you can see, we are in Miami. It is not Connecticut. It is not the UK, as you can tell by the water behind us. I think being at this event has been really fun to watch it evolve over the last couple of years, like the first event and how it changed to the next year, how the track has changed, how the racing has changed. Now we get the sprint race weekend. Like, what do you think of how from year one to where we are now, like, what's been the biggest difference?
I think that it's funny because for a while it seemed like Vegas might kind of steal this race's thunder a little bit as the new US race, but
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. And actually I think that Lando winning here last year really helped it. You had it was a key moment in the season, wasn't it, last year? It was like the cornerstone moment. It turned it from this was Red Bull's dominant season to McLaren's in the fight. Lando's become a title contender. And I'm not sure it's like the greatest circuit ever, but having that kind of famous moment is always important for a race. If it's the same winner every year, it's hard to get excited. There's not like a narrative behind it, and the organisers have done a great job. It's the first race in North America every season, lots of celebrities, and obviously the first year we were talking about that fake marina, that they have still have there, and it's quite a testament to them that no one really talks about that ever anymore. It was just kind of a cool gimmick that everyone kind of found kind of funny the first year, and now it feels like a legitimate event that people talk about beyond just.
But they still
Miami
have
Sea
the
racing.
fake marina. They still have the mermaid pool. They still have all of those things that make it sort of like unique or different or fun or gimmicky, but
It's
like
kitsch, right?
it is,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
we can make fun of like the fake marina and go stand on the wood or whatever, and the insane prices of food that you'll find over there. But in some ways, it's also kind of cool.
And I've always said with this race, you wouldn't want 24 races in the calendar like Miami. But to
No.
have one in a 24-race season is absolutely fine. It's nice to have that variety in types of circuits, in atmospheres, in the people that turn up to them as well. But I think the circuit is the limiting factor. It will never change because ultimately it is the car park of a stadium.
There's only so much you can
that's
do.
been fashioned into a circuit. But given the limitations they had, it's also not a terrible circuit for overtaking and racing. After they resurfaced it, followed in the first year, it's actually turned into an okay race for overtaking. Not a thriller, but an okay one.
And not that I'm a meteorology expert, which, first of all, I think I should get
Wait,
credit
what?
for
I always
being able
thought-
to
I always
say
thought you were.
meteorology. There is a chance that we could see some rain on Sunday,
Yeah.
which rain is a great equalizer. Rain is what sort of brings out the drama sometimes. Sunday, if it rains, could be wildly entertaining.
And this race does suit the sprint format, I think, as well.
Yes.
In a way that they've toyed around with which races host sprints. I think it's quite a good one.
I also am a big fan of the sprint race weekends. I think from a fan perspective, sometimes practice can be a little monotonous. So I like the fact that the teams have it's seemingly less time to prepare, sort of like just throwing you into the deep end and like go. And there is one other thing for like the fans to sort of really pay attention to. I don't know. I like sprint race weekends. I wouldn't be mad if they did more of them.
That's interesting. I think they had this mixed reception, but I think they're becoming more normal, aren't they? More normalised.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, and when you realise the alternative is 3 practice sessions
Yeah.
of that circuit, everyone's going to
Yeah.
argue for
It's
a
like
sprint,
the
especially
same,
here.
right? Yeah, exactly.
If it's Spa or somewhere where you actually just watching the cars there is quite a spectacle in itself for the fans there. A practice session isn't too bad because you get guaranteed hour of track action. But yeah, somewhere here like here, I think you need.
It's nice
you need
coming
the
off of a
sprint
break
format.
too, because we had so many races
Yeah.
in consecutive order to have a little bit of a break and then have a sprint like an appetizer and a amuse-bouche to look forward to.
That's what they should call it, the Amuse Bouche weekend.